understand what you need to do. You see, for a pro like me of 24 years of experience, things happen automatically. But for Brooklyn and a lot of teens and adults, there's a divided attention task, like steering and signaling. It's like trying to solve a math problem before running a marathon. In this masterclass, we're going to empty her mental gas tank and refill it with skills like a veteran. To elevate your Gratiot Masterclass or beginner driver masterclass, we need to distinguish between an anxious teen who lacks experience and an anxious adult who may have had a bad experience or a long break. I'm going to give you ideas that will focus on a beginning driver as well as a driver who does not have a lot of experience. Visual and clinical acuity. Acuity is the ability to see clearly. Let's go ahead and talk about this. Teen examples, developing search patterns. 1, dashboard magnetism. Teens starting at a digital speedometer and steering it exactly for 35 miles miss pedestrian information. So as a driving instructor, I see beginning drivers looking down. We're traveling 100 feet. We're traveling 350 feet. 2, the fixed stare. A lot of beginners do the fixed stare. Staring directly at taillights, the car in front of them. It's called target fixation instead of scanning the horizon. Number 3, peripheral ignorance. The noticing the car adjacent in the lane, like on Gratiot, until it's directly beside them at the driver's door and then they swerve. Number 4, A-pillar hiding. Failing to lean forward to see around the car, the frame of the car in a sharp left turn. If I'm going left, I'm looking. If I'm going right, I'm looking. Number 5, night glare panic. Failing to adjust your eyes to the blinding oncoming LED headlights and looking directly instead of to the white line to the right. Adult examples, reestablishing visual confidence and latency. An adult eye taking longer to jump from GPS black screens to high flow traffic patterns. Adults, we have this problem. 7, contrast struggling. Difficult distinguishing gray pavement from gray concrete barriers. Example, in the Detroit twilight, in the Chicago twilight, in the Houston, Texas twilight. Other examples. Depth perception, doubt. An adult second guessing themselves, do they have enough room to pull out? I had a video that had a lot of views where we're going down Gratiot. An adult older driver made a left turn right in front of me and literally almost hit me. If this sounds like you need to be listening and put in questions. They hesitated and didn't have a safe gap. Visual search fatigue. After 20 minutes of heavily scanning, adult eyes stop hunting and begin to glaze over. Sounds like a death trap, doesn't it? Yeah, it is. 10, overscanning, looking too much at mirrors. Beginning drivers tend to do this too. They stare at the inside mirror, left mirror, right mirror. And they don't have enough time for the path in front of them. Number 2, motor-free visual perception, the brain's timing. Teen examples, building internal calendars. Closure miscalculations, meaning beginning drivers don't stop in time. Beginning drivers misjudge distance. Older drivers are very hesitant and sluggish. Spatial illusions, thinking the car is much wider than it is. This leads to hugging the yellow line. I have beginning drivers doing this. I have older drivers doing this. I'm not there yet. Thank God. So misjudging, and this also is from fear of hitting the curve. Let me start over. I messed up. Spatial illusions. Thinking the car is much wider than it is, leading to hugging the yellow line out of fear of the curb. I have beginning drivers hugging the yellow line. I have beginning drivers hugging the white line. If you're an older driver, you may do both. You may do one or the other. 13, motion plexural error. Misjudging the speed of cross traffic. My beginning drivers do this. They'll pull out right in front of a car. And if I don't hit the brake, the outcome will not be good. Older drivers, you would do the same thing too. You'll pull out in front of a car and give your wife or the grandkids a heart attack. So this is because you think the car's actually further away than it is, often looking further ahead. Visual memory lapses. This happens for beginning drivers, teen drivers, and older drivers because I drive both. Forgetting no turn on red. All my beginning drivers say, hey, can I turn on red? You have to stop, S-T-O-P, first. You have to look left. You have to look right. You need to look up to see if there's a sign. Number 2, gap timing miscalculations. If you really want to learn, you need to be locking in right now. Thinking an oncoming car is much further away than it is, leading to risky left turns. One of the ways I've been successful and not been in a major accident, positive manifestation, I give my beginning drivers plenty of time, T-I-M-E, to make their left turns. We never rush. We never cut it short. Older drivers, you need to take your time too, because you're going to have gap timing miscalculations. You could end up getting hit. Number 3, brake force estimation. All my beginning drivers, what did they do? They slammed the brake. We almost get rear-ended. Older drivers, you also have this problem too. You misjudge how much physical pressure is needed to stop smoothly versus slamming the brakes. It happens. Usually students who wear very thick shoes, no hate Nike, the shoes are too thick. From my experience, and I'm not endorsed, Converse makes really good shoes that allows beginning drivers to feel the brake pedal. Reverse logic. Number 4, the mental struggle to understand which way to back the car when steering in reverse. All my beginning drivers, whether teen or adult, don't know which way to turn the wheel. They don't know which way the rear will go. They don't know which way the front will go. Reverse logic. A good way to remember, if you turn your steering wheel to the left, the rear will go to the left, the front will swing out to the right. Number 5, stop bar alignment. Misperceiving where the front bumper is, resulting in stopping 10 feet too early or 5 feet over the line. This happened to us today. Beginning drivers have a difficult time judging distance. Older drivers have a difficult time seeing and understanding distance. The result is still very dangerous. Number 6, velocity change perception. Not realizing the car is gaining 10 miles per hour while going down a slight hill. This could be on Gratiot. This could be on 94. This could be on any street in the United States. Number 7, objective persistence. Understanding that even though the ball rolled under the parked car, a child might follow it. One of the most dangerous things that we have to... Okay, let's continue. I'm going to go over this last one again. Objective persistence. Understanding that even though a ball rolled under a parked car, a child might follow it. Example, a ball rolls out into the street. We know as teens and adult drivers that we got to slow down, but a kid might roll out in the street and go after a ball. Are you a good driver? Yes or no? Let's continue. Depth perception in the rain. Another very scary thing for beginning drivers, older drivers, late teen drivers, people from 21 to 71. The rain is the Achilles heel of beginning drivers. Night driving is the Achilles heel of all of us. How flat the world looks to a new driver with depth perception clues, like shadows. Shadows are difficult for us to judge. In a beginning driver, shadows can take focus off of the road. Disappearing into the rain. Example, going around a curve, not having good speed control, not being able to judge where the stop line is. All of my beginning drivers, whether they're a teen or adult, struggle at depth perception in the rain because you have all this glare. Next, number 9, turning radius visualization. Looking at a tight Detroit side street and calculating if the car can actually make the turn. Beginning drivers have a poor time with depth perception. They're not able to judge turning radius very well. This is why they go over the curb. This is why beginning drivers go over the curb, because they don't have adequate turning radius visualization. If this is bringing you value, you need to give it a thumbs up. You need to be subscribing. We have more to go. Number 10, signal confusion. Let me tell you, beginning drivers confuse left and right. Left is down, up is right. Beginning drivers confuse drivers behind them because they don't understand about lane line reference. They don't understand what to do. And as a result, they end up getting confused. So we don't want to make anyone confused. We want to make sure our drivers understand what to do. So you want to really clarify and make sure your driver understands what to do. Perceiving a blinking yellow light as a stop. Anytime on the main thoroughfare, when my beginning drivers see blinking yellows, they slam the brake. We get rear-ended. Mom and dad, instructors, if you are by a blinking light, teach your scholar, your student driver, it means proceed with caution. Number 3, divided attention, new driver focus. Focus, preventing cognitive overload when things get busy. Downtown Detroit, downtown Chicago, downtown Houston, Texas. These are huge metropolitan areas that have one thing in common. You're going to have cognitive overload. Number 1, steering and signaling. New drivers often let the steering wheel drift, drifting to the left, drifting to the right. The movement they reach when they turn on the signal. Number 2, braking and scanning. Forget checking the rearview mirror by applying the brakes for a red light. This is divided attention. You've got to check the rear mirror. You've got to squeeze the brake and look left, middle, and right. Divided attention. Are you a good driver or bad driver? If you're good, put yes. If you're a bad driver, put no. Number 3, turning and accelerating. Divided attention task. Struggling to straighten the wheel out while simulating adding gas to stay in traffic. This is very tough for beginning drivers. Some drivers overturn, some drivers underturn, some drivers panic and veer into traffic or veer into the curve. As I look back over the last 16 to 18 months, all of my drivers had these symptoms. But because I'm going into depth and giving you a clinical perspective and tying it back to Brooklyn, you're really going to understand. And you're going to thank me. And then you're going to subscribe. And the questions, I'm excited to see and get those questions. Let's keep going. I'm from the Midwest. Where are you from? Let's keep going. Traffic and exclusion. Hearing the instructor say, turn left at the light. And I say this all the time too. Turn left at the light. And forgetting to check blind spots because they're focused on the left part. Number 5, navigation plus lane keeping. Drifting out of the lane while trying to read a street sign, like 8 Mile. Number 6, hazard ID and verbal response. Stopping all physical movement, like braking, because they are trying to answer a question from the instructor. Mom and Dad, you're going to be guilty of this, and so will I. What I've learned over the last 16 to 18 months, tell my driver one thing and let them execute. You're from India, God bless. Make sure you subscribe. You're going to learn a lot of information. Number 7, pedestrian and stop sign. Noticing a person on the sidewalk is completely missing the stop sign to the right next to them. Number 8, windshield wipers plus traffic. Remember, we're doing divided task. Picking when it starts to rain because they have to find the wiper switch and still steering. Number 9, music plus speed. How to change your radio volume can cause a new driver to accidentally speed up or slow down. Number 10, clutter management. Trying to ignore a fly in a car or a falling phone while maintaining a 3-second distance. Now we're going to talk about Brooklyn's story. Brooklyn is a student I've been teaching. She's 20 years old. And when you are driving, and she has cerebral palsy. So we have to really focus in on our clinical driving. And I understand that in the rain, due to rain will make you fall off the road. Rain, you get a lot of glare. It's hard to see, the smearing of the windshield wipers. What I want you to do is make sure you're driving in the tracks of other cars. What I want you to do is take your time, T-I-M-E. I want you to make sure you have good windshield wiper blades. I want you to make sure you have your heater or defroster on in the car to keep your windows from fogging up. I want you to make sure you're not hugging the right and using the edge line to help you. Brooke has issues with dashboard magnetism. She's staring at the speedometer. She struggles to find the blinker because she's left-hand dominant. She has a spinner wheel at the 11 o'clock on the steering wheel. She has hand controls to the right. Up is for the brake. Up is for the brake. Down is for accelerating. Let's pause for a second. We are able-bodied people. We drive with our right foot. Some of you drive with the clutch. Our gas is to the right. Our brake is the middle. We have both hands on the wheel. Brooke has one hand at the bottom of the wheel, which is at the 6 o'clock position. In order for her to steer, she's got to turn a spinner. So this is very challenging for her. Often our brains miscalculate distance and information. And we want to make sure that students understand information. There's also a learning curve for drivers. We all learn. Usually it's around the third drive. And the course of action I would recommend, number 1, having good speed control. Number 2, make sure you have good wipers. Number 3, clean those windows off. Make sure your windows are clean inside and outside so you don't have glare, and ride in the tracks of other cars. Adult examples of overcoming perceptual anxiety. Trauma-induced figure ground. An adult who has had an accident overfixates on side threats. Cars coming to the right. Cars coming to the left. The same thing with the beginning driver. They panic when they see cars. They almost freeze. And this makes us vulnerable. Some of them swerve out of the way to the left. Some of them swerve out of the way to the right. Like cars in the driveway. I want you to see the big picture. You got more questions? Put it in. Spatial relationships, tight spots. The adult feeling like they are going to hit construction barrels, even though they have 3 feet of clearance. Teen drivers are the same way. They struggle to have lane line reference. And when they struggle, they tend to veer to the left or veer to the right. They don't have good lane line reference. Mental rotation, merging. Difficulty visualizing where their car will be in 5 seconds. I'm a big visualization person. And I tell my students, when you accelerate, you're going to be out in the first lane. I'm trying to create a visual picture. This helps them visualize where the car is going to be in 5 seconds. Such as on the I-94 ramp, merging onto 94. We have a masterclass on those. 19, visual close hidden hazards. Slow to realize hidden dangers exist in driveways because they can't see a gap. As an instructor and as an adult driver, you must know that when there's a driveway, there's a chance of a car coming up. There's a chance of a kid coming out. Beginning drivers act very surprised and they say, oh my God, there's a car. Oh my God, there's a kid. So for you to teach them, you need to teach defensive driving. Leave yourself an out. Cover your brake. Velocity estimation, number 20. An adult losing the sense of how fast 45 miles per hour feel after being on a street that is 25. Beginning drivers have this also. Divided attention. This is in a subgroup of 3. Bandwidth test. Teen examples include merging or managing newness, a new car, a new highway, a new road, a new roundabout. The teen steering wheel follows their head. If they look at the instructor to answer a question, the car drifts. I've been guilty of this too, so I try not to talk too much. '22, signaling, braking, scanning. Remember, driving is a multitask event. Divided attention. Forgetting to signal because they're so focused on brake pressure. That happens. I see it all the time. So I try to tell my students, relax, take your time, be patient, have good speed control. And I try to speak in a really calm voice, really helping them understand, really allowing them to be successful. '23, music and mirror. A teen accidentally speeds up when a hype song comes on. We're all guilty of it. As you know, I'm hyped. So a hype song comes on the radio because their foot mimics the tempo, they start pushing the gas. And then they forget about an approaching light. Number 24, pedestrian and light. Spotting a group of friends on the sidewalk and forget they are approaching on a red light. They forget to stop. They don't look left. They don't look right. 25, wiper logic. Happens to my students all the time in the rain. Losing lane centering because they are fumbling with the wiper during a sudden Detroit downpour. Adult examples. Managing overhead GPS plus heavy traffic. An adult freezing or slowing down significantly because the GPS gave a comment at the same time a car cuts them off. Or a kid, a teen, having the phone on their lap. You shouldn't have that. You should have everything set before you get in there. Backseat driver interference. We had this today. Mom, Dad, if you're the co-pilot, whoever's in the front is the co-pilot. Mom, if you're in the back, stop talking. Dad, if you're in the back, stop talking. Who are you going to listen to? I have 24 years of experience. I've taught over 20,000 students. You must know what to do. You must know decisions you have to do. We're going to get into this right now. If a passenger comments, an adult losing focus on the road because a passenger made a comment and they're driving. Why do you think the state limits the number of passengers in cars? We're all social creatures. We all love talking. Okay? Next. Mirror check lane keeping. Checking the blind spot and accidentally jerking the wheel in the direction you're looking. It happens all the time. It's also very dangerous. So I tell my students, relax your arms, relax your hands. Take your time. Next, cognitive overload, number 29. Cognitive overload, complex intersections. An adult stopping on a green light because there are too many signs and lights at once. This happens to teen drivers too, except I can see it in their face. They stop processing. They literally stop blinking. Phone ghosting. That happened to me a lot too. Even if the phone is in their hand and a thought of incoming text seals 20% of their visual attention. It happens to all of us. There's a learning curve. It takes time. Each of us had different brain development. Brooke, because she has cerebral palsy and she has some vision issues, she has good cognitive development. But your brain is not broken. You just have to reinstall new software. These drills will help speed up the installation. I'm an instructor. I'm using new data, new knowledge. You can't copy it. The only way you're going to get this knowledge is watch me. No one else in the world has what I have. Let's get into it. For adults, we'll frame this as recalibration because most of you know how to drive. You should. Tell them you have the experience, but your processing is running on an old version. I'm going to update you. And we're going to put together some PDFs. We'll put together some things you can order. I just need to make some decisions on how I'm going to get this out to you. But you give me time, and you're patient with me, and I'm patient with you. You do not want to miss out on this. So, adults, you're running on the older version. We got to update you. We're going to update your visual timing so you feel as confident as you did 10 years ago. We do have panic attacks. It happens to all of us. And we do have anxiety. It happens to all of us. But I'm going to help you understand, and I'm going to help you grow. That's part of my job. 20, multi-car tracking. Keeping tabs on the speeder behind you or the breaker in front of you. It happens to all of us. But because I'm in the driver education industry, and this is an educational channel, and I see these things all the time, I'm your software update. Pro tips from Myles. I want you to create a checklist, a PDF to help you understand. For new drivers, the challenge isn't just knowing the rules, it's the brain hasn't yet automated the basic driving task. This means that their mental hard drive is filled up much faster than an experienced driver. Let's go a little bit deeper. Number 1, visual and clinical assessment, new driver focus. We're focusing on training the eye to move from staring to scanning. Number 1, dashboard fixation. Break the habit of staring at the speedometer to hold 35, instead looking ahead. Number 2, white knuckle tunnel. Identify when a new driver's peripheral vision shuts down because they are gripping the wheel too tight. This happens to all my drivers. Number 3, lead car tracking. Train the eye to look past the car directly in front of them to see brake lights 3 cars ahead. We call it aim high driving. If this is bringing you value, and we are going deep today, give us a thumbs up. Consider subscribing. We're going deep into our clinical analysis of teen and adult drivers. You are learning priceless information that you can apply in the beginning of your journey as a teen, the beginning of your journey as an adult, or a learner who has cerebral palsy. And Brooklyn, this will help you because I'm here to become a better instructor for you. And all of you are lucky enough that I'm taking the time to do my research and to prepare you for next best practice. Number 4, mirror blindness. The tendency for new drivers to forget the rearview mirror exists until prompted by the instructor. This is why beginning drivers slam on brakes, they forget to look behind them, and we're getting rear-ended because they slam brakes. Number 5, curb steering. Looking at the right curve while turning through the turn instead of toward the destination. Number 6, signal overload. The inability to distinguish no parking sign from a stop sign because they're trying to read everything on the sign ahead. I make sure my students read signs. No right turn or red. You can only turn right between 2 p.m. and 5 p.m. After 5 p.m., you cannot. Number 7, night bloom. Dealing with the sunburst effect of street lights on a windshield that can cause confusion. A new driver's sense of direction. All drivers have this. New drivers have this. Experienced drivers, you have a different type of visual struggle. I'll be getting into that. Number 8, ground viewing. Looking just 5 feet in front of the bumper rather than 15 seconds down the road. All beginning drivers and older drivers who are losing their sight also do this. Number 9, intersection hesitation. Eyes darting from back and forth too quickly at a 4-way stop because they aren't sure who has the right of way. All my beginning drivers have this struggle. Number 10, A-pillar obstruction. Learning to physically move their head from around the car's frame doing a left turn. It looks just like this. But beginning drivers allow the A-pillar to the left of me and the A-pillar to the right of me to confuse them. Number 2, motor-free visualization, new driver focus. Helping the brain calculate the world before. You can go on the road your first time. It depends on how old you are, how experienced your instructor is, how well they present the material. How old are you? Where do you live? Lane with perception. New drivers often think the car is too wide for the lane and overcorrect toward the center line. Number 7, sequencing. Understanding the order of lights. Green, yellow, red. If some roads are 45, you're going to have to drive 45. If some roads are 55, you're going to have to drive 55. You want to lean on the experience of your instructor. You want to lean on the experience of me. Remember, this is a clinical masterclass on beginning drivers. You want to be locking me in, subscribing, and putting your questions in. I'm 15. I've never been beyond the wheel, but he made me go 55 on the road. If your instructor feels you're capable, lean into your instructor. Keep asking questions. Positioning space. Judging exactly where your bumper ends up during a tight parallel park. Beginning drivers struggle at this. Mental rotation. Visualizing how your car will fit into a turn before you do that. You need to be leaning into what I'm saying right now. All of you. And you need to be giving this a thumbs up. This is your clinical analysis. Objection recognition, identifying a pothole versus a shadow in the road. All my beginning drivers run over potholes, which causes the tire to be damaged, which causes us to lose control. Had a young lady last winter, she hit a pothole on Gratiot, blew out the back tire. She started crying. I said, it's not your fault. We had to pull over by a Burger King. It was freezing. It's about 22 degrees. I had to get out and fix the flat tire. She wasn't going to do it. She didn't know how to do it. 11, rate of closure. Calculating how fast you are going on the front of the car. Number 12, interposition. Knowing a car is closer because it's covering part of the car behind it. Typography orientation, knowing which way is north on Gratiot without GPS. All beginning drivers are very poor at typography orientation. They don't know cardinal directions. I was really scared and ended up on the wrong side of the road. What your instructor needs to do is teach you lane line reference. You need to understand that I don't know if you're in America or the UK or India. You need to speak more on this. In the United States, we drive on the right. He needs to use the lane line reference. Keep telling me more about yourself. Louisiana, you drive on the right. So lane line reference is important. Is your instructor old? Are they young? What type of teacher materials do you use? Please give me more reference so I can help you. And listen to this. These things will help you. Symmetry detection. Noticing a taller tree ahead or a trailer is tilting or off balance. A lot of the beginning drivers don't have symmetry detection. You can't tell the road is curved or banked. Visual integration, combining speed and distance into a single safe to-go decision. Beginning drivers have visual integration problems. They don't understand speed. They don't understand distance. So when they come up to a stop sign, you end up overrunning the stop sign. I had an adult driver do that today. Pattern recognition, realizing when the brakes that the car behind you also needs to brake. Realizing that when a car brakes, the three others behind them will also too. A lot of beginning drivers tend to think they're the only car on the road. Size consistency, knowing a truck is larger even though it looks smaller in distance. Beginning drivers tend to be overwhelmed around semi-trucks, box trucks, larger SUVs. Depth of motion, using the shrinking of a car's taillights to know it's pulling away. Cognitive mapping. Number 19, remembering the layout of a complex left turn, right turn, a Michigan left. Visual speed search. How many seconds it takes to find an exit from the sign and sea of lights. That is really hard because a lot of drivers don't have good depth perception. If this is giving you value, give it a thumbs up. We're talking about clinical driver behavior, how to become a better teen driver, how to become a better adult driver, and then ultimately helping Brooklyn, who has cerebral palsy. These clinical analysis will help you become a good driver. These clinical analysis will help you refer back to me. No other driver, instructor in the world is going over this depth of information and giving you real examples. I'm bringing you value. Number 3, divided attention bandwidth, speed and steering, maintaining 35 while going around a curve. Beginning drivers struggle. They jerk the wheel back and forth, back and forth. Number 2, braking and signaling, preparing to turn while checking rearview mirrors. Drivers literally go off the road to the left, go off the road to the right. Brooklyn, who has hand controls and a spinner knob at the 11 o'clock position, she struggles because the car drifts right, the car drifts left. Okay? She drives with her left hand. She's left hand dominant at the bottom of the wheel at the 6 o'clock position. She's very weak, and if she puts her hand up to the 9 o'clock position, she might be pulling the wheel down and to the left. So we want to make sure she is comfortable. I did not set up the hand controls in the car. I am a state certified driving instructor. I've driven people who have handicaps, or we're going to say physical challenges. My dad was a double bilateral amputee. He had hand controls in the car. So we grew up in a house having one parent that had hand controls on the car before this was even a thing. So I have real life experience, and I can take you through the journey of my dad as well as Brooklyn, who is 20 or 21, has cerebral palsy. I'm taking you through the journey so you can understand and apply these principles to your driving. If this is giving you value, give it a thumbs up. Scanning and speed, looking for a house number without slowing down, 10 miles an hour. These are divided attention task, or quote unquote bandwidth, your brain. Conversation plus navigation, following GPS directions while answering an instructor's question. I try not to get myself in those situations with students, but occasionally students do drive themselves home. And when they drive themselves home, they need confirmation. Am I on the right road? Am I on the right street? Because they lack visual orientation. It's like driving blind. Mirror checks, lane keep. Checking the side mirror without drifting your steering. Beginning drivers do this. Brooke veers severely to the left of the lane, literally out. I have to turn the wheel back. Brooke sometimes turns the wheel to the right or left because of her spinner knob. I'm showing you the complexities of a person that has cerebral palsy, and to help you understand how you can map safe driving. Hazard ID and braking. Seeing a ball roll into the street and automatically covering the brake. If you don't understand hazards, you're going to end up running over someone. Whether it's a ball in a parking lot, a ball in the neighborhood, or a ball on the street. A hazard is a hazard is a hazard. Pedestrian watch, light timing. When I'm teaching an adult or teen how to drive, I'm scanning left, middle, right. Left, middle, right. I look at the do not walk sign. I look at the timer. Where is it at? Is it at 20? Is it at 15? Is it at 10? I scan the intersection. Are there cars? Are cars coming? I don't always answer my student driver. I don't always answer Brooke because I want us to have safe travels. This is deep. And if you're liking this, give it a thumbs up. If you're creating and understanding the storyline, stay with it. Next, radio and climate plus traffic, air conditioning, windows fogging up, adjusting the radio, adjusting the AC without taking your ass off the road. That is very difficult. That is overwhelming. Why do you think on the state test they have you turning on or off the air conditioning, the radio, the heater? They want to see if you can stay straight in the lane, L-A-N-E. Next, dashboard plus horizon. Checking your gas gauge while staying centered. It takes work. It takes time. You need to quickly glance down. I'm at a fourth of a tank. I'm at 65 miles an hour. You got to assess. Beginning drivers struggle to assess. Brooke struggles to cognitively understand this information. So I say one thing at a time. I'm more concerned of her lane line reference. Can she keep the car straight? She's made incredible improvements from day one when her mother was in the back seat, I was in the front seat, and they were going back and forth. I was surprised. But I listened to her mom's concerns. I listened to Brooke's concerns. Her mother brought her in this world. Her mother can take her out of this world. Brooke is fighting for her independence. Mom, I can do this. I wish she would have stayed home. She's fighting for her independence. She's 20 years old. Brooke is in college. They want me to assist her. I have to understand how Brooke feels. Since her mother trusted me, and Brooke is giving her feedback, and Brooke's mother is tracking her on the phone, but Brooke cut off her location. She's 20 or 21. If she wants to cut off a location, she can do that. So her mother said, yeah, you cut off the location. Well, I want you to trust me. That's a deeper issue. I'm just their instructor. I'm not their psychologist. Surface changing and control. Noticing the road change from asphalt to gravel. This is especially dangerous for beginning drivers. And Brooke, she might oversteer and spin the car out. We need to realize going from asphalt to gravel is like little ball bearings. You will lose control of your car. You need to reduce your speed. You don't need to hit brakes. You need to be consistent. We want to be consistent. We have to be consistent. And consistency is one of the most important things for beginning drivers. Next, blind spots plus acceleration. Speeding up to merge while checking over the shoulder. I've had students veer off the road to the right. I've had students veer off the road to the left. In Brooke's case, because we have not been on the expressway yet, she might overturn her spinner knob and we would veer out of control. But in order for Brooke to pass her road test, she needs to be able to get on the expressway. I'm going to seek guidance of my good friends who are road testers and show them the report. This is really important. You listening is very important because we're going on a deep dive. And if you're enjoying this, give it a thumbs up. Consider subscribing. We have yet to touch the surface. Thank you. I appreciate that. Let's keep going. Emergency vehicle plus pullover. Divided attention. Locating a siren's direction while facing and finding a safe place to stop. Divided attention. I see a lot of fear in my beginning drivers when a emergency vehicle happens. So when an emergency vehicle happened, we were driving Brooke on Gratiot. I told her, take your time, find the vehicle, pull over to the right. She looked, she checked, turned on her blinker, she got over to the right. In-car tech plus surroundings. Muting a phone while entering a highway roundabout. That's challenging. Roundabouts are very scary. Gap selection while yielding. Finding a gap to turn left while yielding to oncoming traffic. Multi-divided attention task. Beginning drivers struggle with this. Older drivers struggle with this. Brooke struggles with speed control, slowing down the car. The car is veering to the left or veering to the right. She has to spin her knob at the 11 o'clock position. Sign reading and lane choice. Reading lane ends ahead and planning a move 3 cars early. I try to have my drivers get over early. I learned this last year. A driver went off the road. Beginning drivers, older drivers hesitate. We always have good speed and good space. This is why the Gratiot Masterclass and I-94 merge is very important. Construction and narrowing of roads. Divided task. Following a lead car through orange barrels without hitting them. Passenger safety plus driving. Mandatory. Safety is mandatory. Safe driving is mandatory. Noticing a child unbuckled in the back seat while maintaining speed. Mental math and ETA. Calculating if you have enough time to make the light before it turns red. I don't put my drivers in that situation. When we see a yellow, we start slowing down. DOWN. Because we have to maintain safe driving protocols. Safe driving fundamentals. Multiple car tracking. Number 20. Keeping tabs on the speeder behind you and the breaker in front of you. These elements give you a foundation. A foundation to allow you to be the best driver you can, to allow you to learn. I'm building authority by talking about visual and clinical assessments. Our eyes. We drive with our eyes. Can the driver physically and neurologically see right things? A lot of beginners cannot. Example, static acuity. Reading no left turn when you're 100 feet away. Always ask my beginning drivers, do you wear eyeglasses? If you're a good driver, put yes into the chat. If you're a bad driver, put no into the chat. Number 2, dynamic acuity. Tracking a cyclist moving through an intersection while you are turning. A lot of beginning drivers don't judge that properly. They're either stopping way early, slamming brakes, or they're almost on top of the driver. My job is to intervene. Thank you. Got a good driver. Get us a thumbs up too. Contrast sensitivity, seeing the gray car against the Detroit sky on a rainy day. Number 4, peripheral field. Noticing a pedestrian stepping off the curb without turning your head. Beginning drivers don't have this. Brooke doesn't have this yet. I've only driven with her 4 times. Glare recovery. How fast your vision returns after a car's high beams pass you at night. Brooke did drive at night. It was getting dark. She hasn't driven at night. A car is a dangerous machine. An e-bike is a dangerous machine. People need to get used to operating these things if you want to drive. Some people will never get to the skill set to drive. And that's a very philosophical question. It really depends on your instructor. It really depends on the data that they have. I use data. I have thousands and thousands and thousands and thousands of data points that I pull from. And I use Google Scholar sources. And I have clinical reports. and I have practical real life experience. So I'm able to give you real life information to help you make an educated decision. Everyone has a different perception of life. For some people, walking across the street is very difficult. Other people, riding a motorcycle. So I really think it depends on the person, their coaching, and their prior experience. Love the question. Depth perception, judging if a gap in traffic on Gratiot is a 2-car or 4-car length. Static eye movement, how quickly your eyes jump from rearview mirror to the road. You're going to have to learn to look left, middle, right, left, middle, right, left, middle, right. You've got to move your eyes quickly and efficiently, not staring, gathering information. Color discrimination. Instantly distinguish between a yellow caution light and an orange construction sign. Beginning drivers lack that. Brooklyn may lack that color distinction. Accommodations. How fast your focus shifts from the dashboard rear to the horizon far. We have to be able to assess things properly. Useful field of view. UFOV, processing the hazard in your side vision while focusing on the car ahead of you. A lot of beginning drivers don't have point of view yet. Brooke is starting to develop those fundamentals. You're learning from Brooke's story. You're learning how to become a better driver. You're learning to understand that your instructor is vital. Visual fixation, avoiding target fixation. A lot of beginners stare down the speedometer. They stare at lights. They stare in the mirror. This is going to cause us to have an accident. So we have to be aware. Scanning patterns, moving your eyes in a Z pattern, avoiding busy intersections. Night vision, identifying the edge of the road where there are no street lights. Night vision struggles for beginning drivers. And Brooke, she hasn't driven at night. Dip lock check, ensuring that the driver doesn't see double lines under distress. Some drivers do that. They have glare. Visual search, looking for one thing that doesn't belong in a crowded scene. Blind spot awareness, predicting where the car will disappear based on the last known speed. Motion parallax, judging the speed of cross traffic car relative to stationary buildings. You got to be able to judge distance. This is why little kids can't judge distance properly. This is why beginning drivers can't judge distance properly. This is why older drivers over 65 or 70 can't judge distance properly. Visual endurance, maintaining clear focus after 45 minutes of heavy driving. These elements that I'm going over will make you a great driver. But if you don't subscribe and you don't leave comments, I'll never exist. I'm a state certified driving instructor. I teach adults and teens. I've been teaching driver's ed over 24 years. I've taught over 21,000 students. And we are taking you through Brooke's story. She has cerebral palsy. She does have some depth perception issues, muscular neural issues because she has cerebral palsy. She has the spinner knob on her steering wheel at the 11 o'clock position. She has hand controls. I have experience in this area because my dad was a double bilateral amputee. He had hand controls on his car before any type of clinical skills were used. By me being a state certified driving instructor and sharing these things with you, you're going to gain a lot of knowledge. You're going to be safer on the road. I need all of you to subscribe because I'm a state certified driving instructor. I've taught over 24 years, and I'm taking you through Brooklyn's story. I'm taking you through the elements of a teen driver. Brooklyn is 20 or 21. She's not a teen anymore. She's a young adult. If you're a young adult and you're struggling to drive, you need to reach out to me. Subscribe, leave comments. Bye.